Welcome adventurers, to the heart of the fantastical world of Dungeons & Dragons, where legends come to life and weapons are as sharp as the determination of our heroes. Today, we delve into the mysterious realm of the Doubleheaded Axe, a legendary weapon that strikes fear into the hearts of enemies and embodies the brute strength of those who dare to wield it. From ancient times to the epic battles of our days, the Doubleheaded Axe has been an icon of power and destruction, and we shall unveil the secrets behind this majestic weapon. Prepare to embrace the thrill of adventure as we explore its past, its variants, and its impact on the vast universe of D&D. Ignite the flames of your curiosity, for we are about to plunge into the depths of a weapon that has inscribed its pages in history with the blood of its adversaries. Types of double-headed axes in Dungeons & Dragons can vary depending on the specific version of the game and the rules adopted by the Dungeon Master. However, below you'll find an overview of the most common types. War double-headed axe. This is the most common form of double-headed axe found in D&D adventures. It's generally designed to be wielded by mid-level or lower warriors and barbarians. It typically deals significant damage, often falling into the slashing or bludgeoning damage category, depending on specific rules. The War double-headed axe is balanced to be a versatile and effective close combat weapon, allowing the character to inflict considerable damage while maintaining some mobility on the battlefield. Giant double-headed axe. This variant of the double-headed axe is of enormous size and often used as a siege weapon or by creatures of great strength and power. The giant double-headed axe deals devastating damage and can be used to break through armored enemies or damage fortified structures. It often requires exceptional strength to be wielded effectively and may be too heavy or cumbersome for weaker characters. Decorated or enchanted double-headed axe. In some D&D adventures or campaigns, adventurers may come across special double-headed axes that have been decorated, enchanted, or customized in unique ways. These axes may have magical properties that grant them additional powers, such as dealing additional elemental damage, granting bonuses to specific skills, or allowing the user to perform special actions during combat. They may also have symbolic or historical value within the game world, being part of legends or cultural traditions. These are just some of the types of double-headed axes that may be present in Dungeons & Dragons. Their use and importance can vary depending on the campaign and the narrative choices of the Dungeon Master, thus offering a wide range of possibilities for integrating this iconic weapon into player adventures. In the Dungeons & Dragons rulebooks, the damage and characteristics of double-headed axes may vary slightly depending on the game version and specific rules adopted by the Dungeon Master. However, I can give you a general overview of the common damage and characteristics associated with this iconic weapon. Damage. Double-headed axes generally deal significant damage, usually falling into the slashing or bludgeoning damage category. The damage dealt primarily depends on the type of double-headed axe used, the abilities of the character wielding it, and any modifications or spells applied to the weapon. For example, a basic war double-headed axe might deal a higher damage die than a one-handed weapon, making it a potent choice for characters looking to maximize their offensive potential. Characteristics. Double-headed axes are often characterized by their ability to inflict significant damage, especially when wielded by characters with high physical abilities or by creatures of great strength. Depending on the specific game rules, double-headed axes may require a certain degree of strength to be used without penalties. This reflects the fact that these weapons are heavy and require a certain amount of physical strength to be wielded effectively. Double-headed axes may also offer additional advantages in combat, such as the ability to deal extra damage under certain circumstances, through class abilities, talents, or spells. Additionally, double-headed axes may be equipped with special features, such as the ability to deal piercing damage in addition to slashing, to deal extra damage to specific types of enemies, e.g., undead or demons, or to provide an additional bonus to the attack roll in certain situations. In summary, double-headed axes in Dungeons & Dragons are powerful combat weapons, known for their devastating damage and versatility in battle. Their characteristics and damage may vary depending on the specific game rules and the narrative choices of the Dungeon Master. thus offering multiple possibilities for use and customization for adventurous players. In the use of the double-headed axe in Dungeons & Dragons, as with many other weapons, there are advantages and disadvantages to consider. RS an overview of both. Advantage. High damage output. Double-headed axes generally deal significant damage. They are often associated with slashing or bludgeoning damage, allowing characters to inflict considerable harm to enemies. Versatility in close combat. Thanks to their reach and ability to deal substantial damage, double-headed axes are effective in close combat situations. They can be an ideal choice for characters who prefer to close in on the enemy and confront them directly. Potent offensive potential. For characters with high physical abilities, such as high strength, double-headed axes offer considerable offensive potential. They can be particularly effective against armored or robust enemies. Customization and enhancements possibility. Double-headed axes can be subject to enhancements and customizations through spells, class talents, or magical items. This allows players to adapt the weapon to their needs and combat strategies. Disadvantage. Weight and bulkiness. Double-headed axes are heavy and bulky weapons, which can make it difficult for lighter or weaker characters to wield them effectively. They may require high strength requirements or even cause penalties to hit rolls for those who cannot control them adequately. Lack of mobility. Due to their weight and reach, double-headed axes can limit the mobility of the character wielding them. This can make it difficult for the character to move agilely on the battlefield or react quickly to changes in combat situations. Difficulty in use in tight spaces. Because of their width and reach, double-headed axes can be challenging to use effectively in tight or confined spaces, such as narrow corridors or enclosed environments. Possible vulnerability to spells or magical effects. Since double-headed axes are physical weapons, characters wielding them may be vulnerable to spells or magical effects that affect or damage inanimate objects, such as the Disintegrate spell or effects that deal energy damage. In conclusion, the use of the double-headed axe in Dungeons & Dragons offers potent offensive potential but also presents challenges and limitations that players must carefully consider during their use in adventures and battles. The choice to use a double-headed axe will depend on the character's abilities and preferences, as well as the specific situations that arise during the game. Strategically utilizing a double-headed axe in Dungeons & Dragons can lead to devastating results in combat. Here are some useful strategies to consider. Exploit reach. The double-headed axe has greater reach compared to other melee weapons. Exploiting this feature can allow the character to attack enemies without having to come into close contact with them. This can be particularly useful against dangerous or armored opponents, as it allows the character to deal damage without exposing themselves to excessive risks. Grip with both hands. Using a double-headed axe with both hands offers several advantages. Firstly, it increases the damage dealt due to the greater force of the blow. Additionally, gripping the weapon with both hands can provide the character with greater control and stability during the attack, reducing the risk of missing the target. Fight in formation. If the group of adventurers has multiple characters using melee weapons, they can organize themselves in formation to maximize the effectiveness of the double-headed axes. For example, a character with a double-headed axe could position themselves on the front line, facing enemies directly, while other group members provide ranged support or protect the flanks. Exploit opportunity attacks. If an enemy moves away from the threatened area of a character with a double-headed axe, this can trigger an opportunity attack. Use this opportunity to inflict additional damage to the enemy as they attempt to escape. Choose appropriate skills and feats. Players can choose skills and feats that enhance the effectiveness of their double-headed axes. For example, feats like power attack or charge can increase the damage dealt or mobility during combat. Additionally, some class abilities may offer specific advantages when using a double-headed axe, such as the ability to hit multiple opponents in a single attack or to ignore damage resistance from certain types of enemies. Consider the combat environment. Assessing the surrounding environment can influence the combat strategy with a double-headed axe. For example, if there are obstacles or difficult terrain, it may be necessary to adapt the combat approach to best utilize the weapon's characteristics and minimize risks to the character. In summary, effectively leveraging the characteristics of the double-headed axe requires a combination of combat tactics, group coordination, and character customization. With the right strategy, a character armed with a double-headed axe can become a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield of Dungeons & Dragons. In the world of Dungeons & Dragons, double-headed axes have a long history filled with fascinating curiosities and legends. Here are some curiosities and some famous double-headed axes in the world of D&D. Gargotesse double-headed axe. It is said that this legendary double-headed axe was forged by the evil god Gargoth himself. Its ebony black blade is surrounded by a dark aura that consumes the light around it. It is said that those who dare to wield it gain supernatural power, but at a terrible cost. Grondesse double-headed axe. This gigantic double-headed axe was used during the War of the Giants, one of the most epic battles in D&D history. Grond, the giant who wielded it, was feared across the continent for his ferocity in battle. Legend has it that Grond's double-headed axe was forged by dwarves in the depths of the mountains and has the power to cleave rocks themselves. Vorpalesse double-headed axe. This legendary double-headed axe is feared for its ability to decapitate enemies with a single blow. Its razor-sharp blade is said to be able to cut through any armor or protection. Tales tell of brave adventurers who have sought to possess this double-headed axe, only to discover that its magical nature makes it capricious and unpredictable. Dritst Dourden esse double-headed axe. Dritst Dourden, the legendary Dark Ranger, is famous for his skilled use of the double-headed axe in combat. Nonastualibep, this magical double-headed axe was forged by dwarves and given to Drizzt as a sign of respect and friendship. Drizzt has become an icon in the world of D&D for his mastery in combat with this formidable weapon. Annihilation esse double-headed axe. This double-headed axe, often simply called the Annihilator, is feared for its ability to destroy entire legions of enemies with a single blow. It is said to have been forged in the fires of hell itself and bears the curse of an ancient demon. Few dare to wield it, but those who do become an unmatched force of destruction on the battlefield. These are just some of the curiosities and famous double-headed axes in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Each weapon has its own story and significance in the vast universe of the game, adding depth and mystery to the player's adventures. May the legends of the double-headed axe continue to enchant the minds of adventurers and shine in the firmament of Dungeons & Dragons, guiding those who dare to wield it towards glorious victories or terrifying destinies. Prepare to embrace the thrill of adventure and leave your mark in history, for with a double-headed axe in hand, destiny lies within your blades.